We're live or we're alive?
Well, both, and I don't think I look like Minecraft today. I don't look like Atari graphics. Hopefully, my country internet is holding up well. So, somebody comment and see if I look like pixels or something.
No, I don't think they would put that voice.
Dude. And nobody watches the first 2 minutes of this show anyway. That's why I just get up here and just stare at myself. Like, just wait for somebody to come in.
Rochelle is so sweet. She says she's writing in the back end. She's saying, "Oh, Mike, you look great." See,
Yeah,
she's sweet.
flattery will get you absolutely everywhere, Rochelle. All right, so she's so excited she can't wait to get up here. Dadgummit, do we have people here already?
We
Hey,
do. We have
Peter.
Peter.
Yeah, good to see you. All right, look, man, this healthcare discussions draw a crowd, especially when you got some megalodons and big-hearted pros like this tonight. So I tell you what, I'm not going to go deep. Here's what I do want to say. Let's pop this up here. All right, and I left the bags in the house. Dadgummit. All right, I did buy the coffee, and here's my warning. It is really good, but it looked like light coffee, and I like to drink almost espresso, right? So I just dumped like half the bag in there, and then about 11 o'clock, I'm getting on my own nerves. So this is great coffee. It's not, you know how a lot of it smell like Senate potpourri, and it tastes like just crap coffee. This is actually really good. It messes with your senses. This is why I don't write advertisements, but I'm just trying to describe my unique experience with this coffee. So I'm a fan of it. So grab the QR code, check it out. Lion will be on here later on. He's running late. He missed his bus stop, so he will be here soon. No
Oh,
worries. And so yeah, we're good to go. This coffee is good because I remember I told him I said, well, if it ain't good, I'm just gonna have to pretend like I didn't drink it because I don't want to tell people it's bad, right? Because I don't want to lie, right? So, but this is good stuff. I enjoy it, and I break it out when I want to be fancy, redneck fancy. All right, so let's go. We got an action-packed show. We don't want to go till midnight. You ready
sure
to run it?
do. Of
You
course
just
I
want to go ahead and
am.
skip.
Are you ready
Yes,
now?
yes, ma'am. Go ahead and hit that. Yeah, go ahead and hit
All
that beautiful
right.
intro. Appreciate it.
Are you looking to grow your business and your mindset alongside a fun and awesome pack? Grab a chair and your favorite beverage and join Mike Ashebrainer, the business mechanic, and his win-win network for the Hounds of Business Happy Hour.
All right. Goodness gracious. Let's go over some people in the Hounds of Business. That's the community that I am proud and honored to found and lead. Isabel, top leader, do all kind of stuff to keep me and everybody in line. Thank you so much.
You're
And
welcome.
Claudia, wanted to spotlight Claudia. She was on a really great podcast. I want to make sure everybody had a chance to save this, scan that QR code, so she can go ahead. Check. She is amazing. She's just quiet, just helpful, amazing person. But she helps people in departments, in corporations and small businesses, whatever you got with burnout, right? So, and she incorporates her art into that, and it's really nice. So even people like me who can't draw a stick figure or recognize greatness when he sees it. I appreciate her style. It because I'm so daggone wired, and most people in business are fast paced. So it's really fun to see her infuse her art, and really help people center, get that creative side flowing, and just de-stress, be in the present moment. So just being around her, right? Like just being around her is calming enough, right? So everybody scan that, check out Claudia, and she does our graphics. She does all the beautiful graphics. You all know I didn't do that. I can't draw a stick man. So thank you so much, Claudia, for your talent and skill. And I use her for my clients, right? So I got the client. I'm a relationship broker. People come to me and, hey, Mike, I want to hire you. I'm like, no, you don't need me. You need someone else in the hounds first, right? And so that's where I'm tired of people wasting money everywhere. They're buying this thing, that thing. It's not the right thing. It's like bald people getting haircuts, right? They don't know it. They wouldn't waste their money had they known that, oh, this is going to happen. So check these folks out. And if you're stuck on something, call me, right? Send a carrier pigeon. I just want to make sure I connect all these amazing heart centered, high level professionals in the hounds of business with folks who can use them. Okay. Get the right stuff done. I'm done preaching, but dadgummit, it bothers me. All right. This here, I didn't even know this. So CJ, Dr. CJ, Constance Leland, Level Up Academy. All right, she came to the Hounds of Business, and it's like when they put the PB and J in the same jar, right? You remember when that happened? Yeah, and I was like, wow, I didn't know you could do that. So that's what happened with the Hounds of Business. Is our publicity queen, Dr. CJ, brought all her stuff, and she's all about helping people at all levels, right? People just starting off, people at the highest level, and so she she checked. She's like, "Did you know that your podcast came out?" I said, "No." And we all know Jen Drummond, right? The world record holder for the second seven summits. The woman wrote a book that is absolutely amazing. I was proud to be on her pre-launch team. And so anyway, hey, if you just want to hear what I rambled about in December, go ahead and check this out. It aired in February. But it gives you a good indication of who we are as the Hounds, man. Well, reciprocity is not a pipe dream. It is a daggum superpower. We're the Hounds of business, so we get things done, make money, but we put people first, and we leverage all of our resources and talents to help each other. All right. And that sounds corny, but boy, boy, does it work. Cause I hate hard sales. Anybody who can hard sell, you got my respect. Cause I just don't want to do it. I got this much convincing in me and it sucks. All right. So let's see. But I can bring value and make people go, wow, thank you. And then go from there. All right. So this was old. Okay. This is going to be on the air. Mike King Biz, ESPN out there in Richmond, 30,000 business listeners. And we just wanted to thank Mike King and let everybody know that the Hounds and Mike King, again, PB and J in the same jar, dadgummit. So we put that together, and wow, we had Manuela Lanza, right, from Italy and Spain, international speaker, and then we had the one and only Sandra Gonzalez with the sexy confidence, and she's got an event I'll show you here in a minute. Um, so Mike King, just wanted to give you a shout out, man. This thing premiered last week, and we're already getting just tons of views live. So thank everybody in the Hounds, thank all of you for showing up in drones, man, and supporting these people, because these are good people, and when they do better, they're going to give back to their communities. They're going to give back to each other. We need to see more of that. So thank you so much. And speaking of the one and only, all right, 20-year military, a Marine drill instructor. All right, so she retires and says, now what? So she uses all of her skills, all of her heart, all of her experience leading people, training our finest in the US. And now she's out there helping people apply that to their life, the business sector, whatever they're doing out there. She talks the talk and she walks the walk, man. She has done it first, and I just respect her like no other. So she has a retreat. If you or someone right, is a veteran, they're starting their business, they're looking to start a business, scan that right now. Go to I think it's what Sandra. We got to find the daggum web link. Go ahead and scan the QR code. She's on LinkedIn, Sandra Gonzalez, two Z's and Gonzalez. You'll see her. Go connect with her. Amazing people, amazing things. The people that she runs with, oh gosh, man, I want them all in the Hounds, but I got to be patient. All right. So go check that out. She has a retreat in November. So no time like the present. Go ahead and connect with her. Check out her content. She is absolutely amazing. Love having you in the Hounds, Sandra. And without further ado, I wanted to do something real quick because before we get these amazing ladies up here, we get two more amazing ladies. Let's go ahead and pop them up here. Dr. New and Michelina, how are you today?
We're great.
Hey, simple.
Oh my
Dr. New, can
goodness.
we?
Yes, can you hear me okay? Hi,
Yes,
Mike,
ma'am.
and I see Izzy in the back, and Magdalena, and all the amazing hounds. Thank you for coming, seeing us. What a wonderful Wednesday.
Great
Oh
to
my
be
goodness.
here,
Hey,
Mike. Thank you.
well, my pleasure. My pleasure. I have a little delay, so if I'm being rude or normal, that's why. So, real quick, because I know we have the show for the healthcare and all the people. Um, Here's why I wanted to do this. Anybody who has built a business and really tried to make some impact, or it didn't have to be a business. You're trying to build a community, you're trying to build a nonprofit, you're just trying to do something that most people won't do. That stuff is hard, right? All of y'all know that. So, it just wasn't a top priority. I had to pay the bills. I made some life changes. My back was against the wall. So all the while, this lady from Connecticut, right, this northern lady, I just connected with her a year ago, right, Mick? And
Just
you
about.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, and here's why I'm here. Because anybody who came after me with do this or get that or about it, I wouldn't be interested in it. She genuinely cared about me, right? Or she wouldn't be in the house for over a year. and she very patient. We took a year to really get to know each other, but but that's what attracted me to what she does, and it was very useful. It's very helpful, and I just love anybody who has an attraction based style who just loves to share a message. And we all have this in common. We don't care if you say yes or no. What we care about is that people know what they say yes and no to. And that's what Michelina did for me. Said, hey, let me educate you, let me support you. And and that was important because my health was declining. I just wasn't taking care of myself because I was on the go, right? And I know I'm saying this in front of all these doctors backstage. They're gonna kill me, and nurses, um, but that's why we're here. And so Michelina, Dr. New, hey, birds of a feather. Mick talked to me, I talked to you, and now here we are. So, Michelina, explain what you do because you do a lot, and how folks can get involved with us and what we're trying to accomplish together.
Yeah, well, look, the bottom line is, I think every day I wake up thinking about, how can I be of service to others, right? I think that's a question we can all ask one another is, how can we make today a valuable day? How can we bring value? How can we help the person in front of us? And so my mission is to help as many people as I can to stay out of the sick care system. That's what I call it. To me, it's a sick care system we have. It's where people are, they're going to see, in the traditional medical world, right? You've got a symptom, something's wrong. The first knee-jerk reaction is prescription. And I'm not against meds because many people need medications, right, to fight the different illnesses that they have. But the perspective that we're taking with our team, Mike, is to say, how can we help people stay out of sick care? Right? How can we help with prevention? How can we, and a lot of it goes back to your diet and your lifestyle and your thinking. So, so one of the key things I'm doing is helping people figure out how they're self-sabotaging themselves. It all starts in the mind, right? What are we thinking? What's getting in the way of you getting to your best health? And then physically, what I've realized as a health coach over the last 10 years is that most people are really struggling in their diets. There's a huge gap in the American diet. Nobody's getting enough fruits and veggies, right? That's a huge problem. And especially for the next generation, we need to do everything we can to help kids get, bridge those gaps in their diets. And so with our company's mission and community and the research behind our wonderful plant-based products, we're really doing grassroots efforts to build the community and get people out and sharing and giving them simple solutions for bridging the gaps in their diets. So all of these things work together, and it's all about building the community. And I'm thrilled to have you and Dr. New now as part of the team.
Yeah, absolutely. And real quick, because I want to hear from Dr. New, and then we'll bring on the amazing ladies. And so, for me, that's what it is. You take a holistic approach, Mick. So it's not just about this thing or that thing. It's about mind, body, spirit, being happy, balance, right? As balanced as possible on that little seesaw, and enjoying life. And I wasn't, and it's hard not to. And a lot of us, we're not shaming people. It takes a lot. Um, but this is what I mean through the pack. You're connected with all these brilliant people that are willing to support you and use your stuff. And that leads me to Dr. New, right? One of the most nice. We got the two most nicest women on planet Earth today. So Dr. New's the first one on stage. Other than Mick, we love you too. But we all know Dr. New, but she's like a Care Bear. So Dr. New, thank you for joining us in this mission to help people and go out there and just help people restore that balance. So what would you like to add, and what attracted you to this kind of movement we're starting?
So thank you first of all for having me on, and really, my holistic approach, right? When we treating the mind, body, and soul and spiritually, it has to start with our mind and what we're putting in our body, right? The digital, the all the verbal and everything. It's not just, and it start with our food, our diet, right? And things we put ourselves around it, the community, right? The hounds of business and the people who will lift you up and cheer you up. And I think one of the things that a lot of burnout, and speaking for myself and a lot of people who are struggling as an empath, right? You serve and you do so much for everybody else. You don't take care of yourself, right? You are so selfless. So you take care of everybody else, but then at the end of the day, you forget yourself. So you want to prevent yourself from getting there. And I know as myself letting, high caliber and really you want it so much to do, but if you're feeling like there's something missing because your health is not there and you're feeling guilty as a mom, I have two little kids. And when Michelina was saying that not only this is it's all vegan fruits and vegetable, right? And the kids can also get it for free from 4 years old to 26 years old. It blows my mind, right? That the kids get that for free. It's food, right? And they're healthier because most of the time the kids are not getting the appropriate for being an entrepreneur to prep and get all the food. There's always going to have some lack, right? Ourselves and our kids. So we want to be able to bridge that gap to so you feel better and then the kids will feel better. So you don't feel like you're not, taking care of your kids in a nutrition way. Because at the end of the day, what I'm reflecting on as a pharmacist is that we want to be taking an approach of proactive care for your well-being now. So that way you don't have to pay later on down the road because the cost of taking care of your health when you're ill is much more than proactive of taking care of yourself now. And I think
Oh
that
yeah.
is something is a rude awakening that we have all. And then also another aspect is that, a lot of people, the entry to being well and healthy, they know it. We all know that we need to change, right? But the cost is that the cost of people either entering into it or succeeding is that the cost, right? The cost factor. It's
Right.
not easy to buy fruits and vegetables. You know how expensive nowadays. But if you can
Hmm.
offset that, that is where it's the winner, right? You help people
Right.
not only eat healthy, be healthy, but also you get to offset that. That is where I think me and Mike and Michelina is like there's so much in here. And there
Right.
is, so much that I'm so excited for what's to come. And
Oh
that's
my
just
gosh.
the surface of it.
Well,
Bravo.
don't give them too much. Don't give them too much because we want to tease them into this. We wanted to see because I'm working out again. It's been forever, So again, if you got, thank you so much for that, ladies. I'm excited. I want to see people be happier overall, not just money or business, but I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired. So join us if you want to learn. Reach out to me, Michelina, Dr. New. We got a smorgasbord of stuff. I know Mick has a lot of good calls and different stuff that she has. She's got no shortage. So look at this like a buffet. You could have all, none, some, come back later. We just want people to stop being stuck, stop being unhealthy, and find a way. So this is my challenge. You'll see me overall, going up and down and you know doing my best to get back into not firefighter shape, but close enough, right? Like so. I appreciate you so much, Mick. Would you like to add one more thing? Do you have an upcoming event or something? Or
I just want to say I'm so incredibly grateful. Yes, actually, tomorrow evening we have a world-renowned heart physician who's going to be speaking on the topic of nutrition and wellness. And if anyone would like to be, receive a personal invitation, please reach out to one of us and we can send you the details. I know the seats are going to fill fast. So he's the first pediatric surgeon to operate on a baby in utero, and he'll be speaking again about the power of nutrition and obviously specifically cardiac care. So again, just grateful for the opportunity, Mike. Thank you very much for being open to listening and to learning and to being part of the community. We appreciate it.
oh, my pleasure, ladies. Well, thank you so much. More to come. We'll be posting about it. So you go enjoy
Right.
your evening and support these amazing ladies we're about to have. So appreciate you. I probably would have wasted away and been in the sick care system had not have been for someone to say, "Hey, take care of yourself." Is it better?
Hey,
You want to bring? Let's bring these ladies on. We made them wait long enough. Come
let's.
on
Oh,
down.
of course they have. Hang on, dude. I'm getting used to this thing. Hey, Russia.
There we go.
Hi.
The
Hello,
other
good
button.
evening.
There she is. All right. Dr. Z, Rochelle, welcome, welcome. So happy to have you here, man. We had a huge sign up. Every time you ladies come on something, man, everybody wants to be there. You're just the sweetest people. You're the realest people. And when I was a kid, my doctor frowned at me. Y'all are nice. Y'all bring the little human side into it. So, gosh, let's start with let's start with Dr. Z. Dr. Z, I respect you like no other, right? So
Oh
you are
my
from
gosh.
Peru, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So
I am from
go ahead.
Peru and I am in Peru right now. So greetings from Peru to all of you.
Oh my gosh, what time is it over?
7:20. It's just 1 hour of difference
Same
with
time zone.
Florida. Yeah.
Okay, I can't keep up. We got Australians that are, like 16 hours in the future. Oh my goodness. So, were you a doctor in Peru, and then can you explain that to us? Because I love this story.
So yes, I used to practice as a physician in Peru for around 10 years. I did here academic medicine and research, and my clinical practice was for the Navy of my country. And I believe that I was very successful in my professional life, but I was absolutely single. I met my husband that was living in the US. And after dating back and forth for a year, I went to visit him for vacations and I never went back to Peru. He proposed. I got
All
married,
love.
happily married, and I quit my job via Skype because Zoom was not existing at that point. So, and I started from zero again in a different country, in a different language. And I am so lucky today, 12 or 13 years later, to be a physician in the US, to be a mom of 2 boys, wonderful boys, and to have, a little more of balance, not just work, work, work.
Yeah, and then you go and do something crazy that adds more time, and so we'll get to that. Don't spoil it yet. All right, let's keep the people here. But hey, yeah, I got the pleasure to meet your husband, and I just love what you guys are about. And we're all aligned. We want to do something special, be somebody, make an impact in the world, and that is a great segue to Rochelle. So good to see you. How are you today?
Hi, well, thank you. Really looking forward to being here, and it's good to be back with the hounds. It's been a while, and I'm really glad to be here. It's such a pleasure.
Yes, ma'am. And how did we meet? Do you remember how we met? I might have like tagged the wrong person or some
Actually,
goofy thing. How did we?
one of the members are on here, Tracy Lamb, and she just did a beautiful segment on Detroit Now just this morning. So big shout outs to Tracy and her Caregiver Worldwide Network, and just love her. And she's the one who introduced me to you and your whole organization. And I will tell you, I think I had to stalk you for a little bit before you let me in.
Oh, you're kidding. You're kidding me. Isabel, you say you had to do the same thing?
I had to do that. I had to do that.
But
It's
it's a
not
great place to be, honestly.
well, it's not me being
Well,
elusive or it's me being aloof. It's what it was. I'm just over here doo-doo-doo in the woods and didn't even notice that. The same thing with Christine Bell. She's over here love bombing me for like 3 posts, and I'm like, oh no, I didn't see that. That's a horror. I talk about reciprocity all day, and I'm just like, whatever. I'm like, no, I didn't see it. So, Rochelle, you're nursing, right? So you're an
Yes,
RN and you're in
yes.
oncology. So
Yeah.
what's your background and what do you do now
Ooh,
in this
okay.
field?
So my background, of course, is neurotrauma ICU nursing. I'm a certified legal nurse consultant. I'm also a data scientist for about 16 years. That's a hat I tried on and really enjoyed looking at data. And how did I get into oncology? Well, oncology visited me. I really, it's not a space I chose to be in, but it chose me. And for my husband and my daughter, and their journeys are unique. But with my daughter, it was 9 years of moving from the professional healthcare provider to caregiver, and what we think healthcare delivery is completely different being a recipient. And so once she was stabilized, I realized there's a lot that I have to say about it. Um, Created a cancer treatment library to just even the playing field and give options where there is none. And so I have a nursing platform. I've met wonderful oncologists and holistic medicine providers up and down the 95, 75, 72, 40, 20. I've been everywhere. I feel like Johnny Cash sometimes, but at the end of the day, it's about saving lives and making a difference.
Wow. Okay. You know, Isabel, dadgummit, hang on a second. Yeah,
I have to
because here's
unmute.
what I know. I got. Oh, I'm not mute.
No,
So,
I had to unmute.
oh, okay. Well, I have family in the medical field. I've got a cousin of mine I love dearly. She's a hospice nurse. Whew,
Yes.
man, wow, right? So most people, go ahead, Isabel. You off mute now?
Yes, I am. But you said,
All right.
Isabel, like you had a question for me. Did you have a
No,
question
go
for
ahead.
me, Mike? What did you want
No,
me to?
all right, I'm gonna go ahead and get it. So most people in the medical professionals that I know, correct me if I'm wrong, and folks in the comments, we got nurses and doctors in here. Hey, this is your show. Network with each other, connect, follow, ask questions. We'll do our best to put them up there. Um, this is your show. We love the fact that you're here and scan that little QR code. If you want to learn more about these crazy hounds, man, because look who we're rolling with. How do you not want to learn about it? So, uh, now, Rochelle, most
Yes.
people they go into medical field, and I think for me it was like 50-50. Like they didn't know what they were getting into, right? So there's a lot of people that just get in there and go, oh no, but they stick in it because that's what they did. They went to school, they invested, right?
Mhm.
So what is it that made you decide that you're going to take a step further, right? You have a job to do, you're good at your job, but then
Mhm.
you really had a passion to help people and kind of insert yourself. What was that? Tell us about that moment where you just said you said I'm going to do something about this. I love this. What is tell the folks.
Yeah, so I am from Canada, actually Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And about 25 years ago, I immigrated to the United States and met
Oh
my
no, we
husband.
lost a good one.
I met my
Lost a
husband
good one.
2 days after being here, and it was a wrap. Okay, so that was it. I was done. And I think it might have been the Barry White voice, not quite sure, but he's marvelous, and I'll never switch. But the thing about it was we have a different healthcare system here, and how do people navigate it? How do you understand it? And I remember coming in and being so frustrated about it, but I said, that's okay. I'm going to learn to live with it and learn to enjoy it. So I over the years, I realized there are places where we can insert ourselves to actually make a difference and help to navigate care. And nursing is uniquely positioned to do this. We've been doing this for about 50 years, long before I came to this country, in navigating patients and ensuring that they get connected where it is necessary. However, technology in healthcare has really transformed. And we realize there's now technology advances. COVID hit, our whole world transformed upside down. And how do you navigate the healthcare system? I'm a healthcare professional in it. And when cancer visited me, I struggled. And so I wanted to make it better for other people. And that was the point in which, when I started asking questions, who's out there, wasn't. And so it had to be me. And I'm fine to do that.
I'm, Rochelle, I didn't know you were Canadian. And I said that before the show started. I even told Mike, don't ask me to ask any questions about the American health system. I don't understand it. I
Mhm.
really, truly don't understand it. So I'm curious to know, how was that transition for you?
You know, transitioning from Canada to the United States, there's much more opportunity as nurses to really show who we are as a professional body and really make the most in the care that people deserve to receive. There's a lot of advocacy as well as autonomy that can be brought into this realm, as well as opportunities as a nurse to be able to touch in other areas of people care that is not traditionally there, such as psychology, socio healthcare economics, health equity, law, data science, and all of these things. We, as nurses, we collect these things. We provide that holistic healthcare at the bedside or in our communities to our patients. And it just makes sense to really be able to hone those crafts where we love to be. And so it just had a lot more opportunity here to do more than in Canada. And Canada is now evolving to that equality, but they were very more autonomous. So I tended to have a big mouth and, and asked a lot of questions and didn't care if it
I
was
mean,
hard because it needed to be addressed. And I think that was the inroad for me.
And from
have
this moment on, you are now my sister.
sister from
My,
another mister. I love
my
it.
middle name's Big Mouth. Yeah, so I got that. I made the comment today. I was like, I'm unemployable. If I got a job today, I would get fired today. So I have it's it's either homelessness or build a business. I don't
There
know.
you go. Absolutely, I'm with you on that, Mike.
Wow.
Oh
Okay.
my God. Oh, that was funny. Mike, I seem to have technical difficulties. I can't see the private chat, so you're gonna have to ask your own damn questions.
Okay. Well, it's the same one to Dr. Z. So Dr. Z, correct me if I'm wrong. You so you were a regular doctor, right? Did you work at a hospital or practice? And but then something changed. Tell us about that. So you come to over love. Cupid brought you to the U.S., right? You fell in love. You got triple board certified, which I didn't even know. I'm a hillbilly. People are like, that's a big deal. I'm like, okay, cool. So that was you did all that work. So what did you do? Did you do hospital, private? What did you do?
I used to do academic medicine, which involved to have 45 residents, internal medicine residents in my hands for teaching purposes, an extra 50 medical students, and then the clinic. I used to run the clinic, the outpatient clinic, and teach them in every, with every encounter that we have. And yes, life changed tremendously. I believe that the last drop was COVID for me, but I was already struggling. And Rochelle, I truly empathize with what you are saying. And I don't know if it's the fact that we not only grow up, but we learn medicine, right, or the practice of healthcare in another country. The system here was very shocking for me. And it became worse and worse when I started to escalate and learn more about the behind the scenes. And you mentioned something that for me is super important, is autonomy, right? Yes, we have more resources here and the opportunity to maybe have a bigger salary and more research and publishing and technology available for us, but we have no autonomy. Our roles depend on the healthcare system per se, meaning the pharmaceuticals, the insurances, the CEO of the hospital that for sure is not a doctor or a nurse. And in general, this is a system that cares more about productivity, therefore money, instead of quality, therefore patients. And that broke my heart because that's not the type of physician that I am or that I want to be.
What were the best things from the Peruvian system that you are not finding in the US and that you wish existed? If
I believe
any.
that yes, I have a list, but I will mention the one that for me probably is more important, and I will use a story for this. I believe that will be the best way to reflect that. I used to practice for the Navy, and one of my patients from the Navy want me to see a family member outside the Navy. So she hired me as the private doctor, right? And I was very young, and I was like at the beginning of my career, and I said no several times, but they convinced me, and I said, okay, let's do it. And that happened probably at the beginning of my career as a physician, so almost 20 years ago. Today, after leaving Peru 12 years, I am in touch with the family of this patient. Last year, they sent me a video of him dancing for his birthday party when he was celebrating 90, I don't know if 95, 96 year old. And connection. The word is connection. This feeling that you are part of their family, they are part of your family, that this is not just a transaction that is a monetary financial transaction, that this is a transaction of love, of giving the best of you to them because they are giving you the best of themselves. They are emotionally naked and physically naked in front of you, right, as a physician, and they trust you more than they may trust anybody else in their family. And if we don't respect that, there is nothing more. You cannot be a good doctor if you don't build that connection.
Yeah, I hear you. It's difficult too for patients because we're such in a vulnerable position, right? We don't know all the mechanism. We don't like we're literally putting our life in your hands, literally.
Yes, but it's very important, and I want to advocate for empowering patients. I believe that patients don't understand their role in the system. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, and I hope this is doesn't sound very crazy, but for me, a doctor is kind of the waitress in a restaurant,
No, I
or
get it.
the
Yeah.
or the cooker, right? Maybe with a white coat and a stethoscope in the neck, but and the patient is the person that comes to my restaurant and is asking for the best
Mm.
pizza ever or salad or whatever, and and my restaurant works well, and I have the possibility to keep it open and to make it successful if I cook delicious and I give them the plate and they enjoy it, and they feel that they are treated like kings and queens, and they
Mm.
are paying my salary.
Yeah.
Patients pay my salary. I am here to serve them, not
Yeah.
them to serve me. So I feel like patients deserve to know that they have some power and
Mm-hmm.
also some responsibility, and they are supposed to ask for questions, and they are supposed to also claim for what is fair and what is right for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it has to be. I mean, we can agree or not as doctors, right? But our position is to give you the information and to help you to take decisions, not to underestimate your value as a human and as a patient, and underestimate your rights.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
this
Mike.
just yeah, I'm sorry. Hey, I told you I
Okay.
warned you in the chat. I was like, I'm coming in. So, because again, lots of professions are like this. Not just picking on the healthcare and doctors. We do it so we can help people, right? I wanted to help people not be a financial disaster. So I learned and I wanted to share. But then we find ourselves in a system or a climate that kind of restricts it. And it's not that somebody's doing it on purpose. It just that's not what we signed up for. Is that a fair assessment? Like, hey, you truly wanted to help people, and if it gets too constrictive, we got to do something about it. Instead of complaining, you ladies took action and some really hard action. You probably didn't even know what the hell you were getting into, probably. So, um,
No.
before I dive into that, go ahead, Izzy.
No, I was gonna ask, how do you guys feel when you feel, both of you, Rochelle and Dr. Z, how do you guys feel when the patient don't seem to be in the middle of their own health treatment or sickness treatment? Like they're not getting involved, they're not taking responsibility, they're not asking questions, they're just going mm-hmm. How does that make you feel, and how can we improve as patients to help you do your jobs?
That was one of the biggest pain points for me as
Mm-hmm.
I would be out there just listening to the room, because sometimes we as healthcare providers, we think that we have a shield of anonymity as we're talking to people in that healthcare space. And it might be a multiple shared space, but we think that sphere of privacy is just that one-to-one conversation, but voices carry. And it really hurt me to know that patients weren't asking questions. I think the worst one was when my husband, the doctor would tell him something about his care, and then I would ask him, repeat back what you just heard. And he's like, I heard it. I said, okay, if you heard it, say it. And he would say something completely different. And I think as healthcare professionals, we forget to just ask the questions. Nurses, we do this all the time.
Yeah.
The doctor will say their spiel, and then the nurse will come in, and then they'll say, okay, what did the doctor tell you? And we hear
Right.
something completely different. And so for me, that is very important, to the point that I started speaking on it so much, and just doing listening things with the organizations that I'm involved in. Someone nominated me to some commission in Congress. So I sit down and speak and advocate for patients, talking about healthcare tech, making sure that when we create digital technology algorithms or how we set rules on how care is given, to make sure it's not punitive for patients so that they can ask the right questions and all the information is on the table. So that's how I do this. I'm sure other people have a different path, but patients' voices are important. They need to be heard. And if you allow them to come into the conversation, you'll have a lot of insight. But most times they just don't even know what question to ask. They are just completely overwhelmed.
And this is our responsibility, right? To be not only kind and empathetic, but also to educate our patients. And that's why the typical healthcare system doesn't work for me. 15 minutes will not be enough for me to educate a patient that just receive a diagnosis of cancer or that is diabetic or obese and needs to lose weight. We have been underestimating the needs of the patients, and we believe that, oh, do diet and exercise is good enough to, help them. And again, it's not, and I agree with you, Rochelle, it's not necessarily the fault of physicians or nurses that are not willing to do their job. Is that they have this long schedule full of patients, 15 minutes after 15 minutes, and you ask yourself, how do I end on time? And then I have to close the notes, and then I have to do the calls. And how do I avoid making medical errors while I am trying to, fit all these needs created by really administrators, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we need to understand that we are a team with the patient, and the most important member of the team is the patient and the family of the patient. They need to be involved, and it's our responsibility to make them feel involved. And we need to explain them that they are more than the liver or the cirrhosis or the tumor or the
Yeah.
skin, whatever it is the problem, or the laboratory test. They are humans, they are unique. Their pathologies may be very common or very similar to others, but because of their characteristics, because of their background, because of their emotions, because of their religion, their color of the skin, whatever it is, the type of diet that they like, we need to understand that, and we need to treat accordingly. That's why algorithms, they don't really work.
Correct.
And that's why 15 minutes appointments, they don't work, because we are missing the opportunity to treat the human, and instead we are treating the disease.
And I
Yeah.
love the fact that in nursing, we're not beholden to a time frame. So we have the opportunity to re-clarify and ensure that there is a level of understanding and communication that is there. And so I think that in that team approach, my most important thing is to ensure that we foster that line of communication. And that's what I bring to the table under healthcare systems navigation, to ensure that when you're talking about your options, you know what they all are, and that you're able to have a proper conversation within that 15-minute slot that you have, or you just bring me there with you. That's it.
And having the doctor actually treat you as a human makes the entire difference.
Yes.
I'm a ovarian cancer survivor, and when I had my hysterectomy, my surgeon showed up before my surgery. She came to get me and just greet me and whatever. And the first thing she asked is, "How you doing? Like, are you okay? Did you sleep well?" I said, I don't care how I slept. Are you okay? Like, you're about to take a scalpel and open my skin. Are you okay? Did you sleep well? Did you have a fight with your husband? Like, how are you doing? So she cracked up laughing, and the first thing that she said after that, and it made the world of difference for me, is, "Mrs. Fortin, this is an extraordinary easy surgery for me, but I will treat it with the level of importance and impact it has on your life." And for me, that was from that moment, I had no worries. I knew she was treating the person and not only removing the uterus, and it made the world of difference. I just
So
wanted to share.
important,
Yes.
so important, right? Because big part of the process of healing depends on your emotional status, right?
Yes.
Chronic stress, acute stress will affect what is happening in your body and your response to treatment and etc. So if we treat you as a human, we are treating also your emotional aspect. And if you are spiritual, respecting your spiritual aspect. And for me, even as important as that is the financial aspect. And I am very careful with that because I used to repeat this to my residents and medical students again and again. You are not a great physician when you do this fancy diagnosis and you select the last medication that is so expensive and you prescribe it. If the patient cannot buy that medication, if the patient cannot do the diet that you are asking, if the patient cannot follow through because doesn't have the financial status to do it, and comes back 2 weeks later without taking that medication, without doing, the plan that you created, who failed? And the truth is that I failed to my patients because I didn't have the time or interest to ask, are you able to follow with what I created for you? Sometimes it's better to do something less fancy but feasible that creates something very elegant and sophisticated that cannot be followed through. The result depends. You are as good as a physician as the outcomes of the patient are.
But
And
I also believe that the patient deserves to have excellent outcomes no matter what that treatment plan is. And if we
yes,
work as a team, we will bring in those collaborators that have those access to the resources that we may not even know of so that we can treat the whole patient, which means not just whatever their disease is, not just the person that's around you, the whole family. Because if you're not feeling well and you have a chronic disease that can't get you out of bed in the morning, that's going to affect everybody connected down with you. And so if we
absolutely.
can't take care of that whole person and their family, with
Absolutely.
bringing in
Yeah.
all of the resources, it is so important to bring it to the table. And if you don't know where they are, go to my website. I'm happy to have that conversation with you and bring them into your space. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, no. I love this. No, no, no. I hate to do this because I want to make sure people can connect with you and understand what you're doing and all and encourage people. There's a lot of nurses and medical professionals watching, and this is really encouraging. Because honestly, I'd rather go if I had a choice and it wasn't weird, I'd go to Children's Hospital. Because when my little girl had a regular procedure, she had a little surgery, it's outpatient. No, man, like wow. Like, so they were so kind and so not I'm like, "Man, dangle a baby toy in front of me when I'm at the doctor, and I don't like, I would feel better as a grown man, right?" But
I will
Doctor Z, correct me.
remember that.
Yeah, just get the toys out, just like at the dentist. They gotta bring out the, hold my hand and stuff, it's pitiful. But seriously, even as adults, I mean, we're facing stuff that you guys went to school for, you are trained in, you see every day. We don't. Like, I was a fireman. It's like, well, I see fire every day. You don't. Like, you hope you never see it. So I love your perspective. And Dr. Z, is that why you started your own, clinic and practice? Like, is that you're just like, hey, I'm not gonna shame others. I'm just gonna do what I can do, and I'm gonna start my own thing so I can do those things and put patient care and all that. Is that what happened?
Yes, actually, I tried to change the system. Very naive on my side, but at least I tried for a few years in a very
Wonderful.
proactive way. Sadly, I finally realized that I cannot change the system. So the only way for me to keep practicing medicine, and I heard that you mentioned something very similar before, Mike, or I create my own system or I quit medicine. And I didn't go to twice to train as a physician in two different countries to decide to, quit medicine. I love medicine. I love helping people. Makes me feel happy, makes me feel fulfilled as a human. And I created my clinic to be able to be proud of myself when I practice medicine and to be able to provide the type of medicine that I believe any of us deserve, because when we are more vulnerable is the time when we need most care, more respect, and in some way, some type of love from our healthcare professionals, right? Is when we really need someone that cares about us, and that's what I want to be for my patients.
Yeah, you can't change. Look, there's not a lot of financial people with camo hats, right? Like, I get what you're saying. That's why I started my own because, it's we want to change things, but some things have just been around too long to change, or we're individually powerless. But here's what I see: the movement that's happening across healthcare and all these things. It's shifting because, well, look what's happening. You all are finding identifying problems, trying to make solutions. I love this grassroots bottom up approach, right? Like, I'm not going to change big companies that have been around 200 years, but boy, I can change the way I interact and provide those services to regular folks like me, right? And I love that. And by the way, Dr. Z, both of y'all, you all went through all of the schooling, all of the massive training, all this stuff, only to stop and then start another massive, insane endeavor called entrepreneurship. So, if you want to
Scary,
speak,
scary,
Very
scary.
scary. Very scary.
scary, it is scary. I went to
And Dr.
business school and
Z
still
did
didn't
it
know.
in somebody else's language, not even in her first language. Holy crap.
No,
Exactly.
I will tell you. I will tell you, if you ask my dad, he will tell you the story. I hate that business. I consider it like money is almost dirty. I have a problem with the monetary part of being a doctor. I am a kind of an altruistic crazy person, a romantic in medicine. So has been, yes, I can practice medicine. I have no problem with that. That's what I do with my eyes closed. Being an entrepreneur has been a challenge, a very personal challenge. I had to develop new skills and to understand the world of business, and to be vulnerable again, right? Because and has been a very humbling opportunity for me and humbling experience. Being a good doctor, right, doesn't make you a good entrepreneur, a good leader, a good many other things, right? And I believe that this is the reason why it's so important for me to learn from others, to connect with others, to show my vulnerability, to ask for help, and I needed to go through that process. I believe that has been a very important process in my life, and a good example for my kids also. I believe that my kids see me at my age, starting from zero again, and they follow what I am doing, and they know what I am doing, and I hope that I am being a good example for them to know that you need to be loyal to yourself, to your values. You cannot compromise who you are just to get a paycheck at the end of the month or to fulfill, the requirements of the society. You need to be able to go to bed every night and say, I am proud of myself. This was a good day. And tomorrow I want to wake up because I will make more good things, right? And I will touch more life in a positive way. And that for me is so, so important.
That is unbelievable. I mean, seriously, you go to school, you go into debt, you do all this stuff, and you make money. It takes tremendous passion and courage to do what both you ladies have done, and that's what it's about. So now here you are going, hey, I'm a brilliant doctor and nurse, but oh crap, I'm in business, and hey, how's a business, right? Well, because you went to doctor school, you didn't go daggone business or whatever in entrepreneur school. And, and now you're going, what the hell? And this is so much fun because, yeah, I mean, now I come to the rescue with the camo S on my chest, trying to connect people and put together things, and that's what I mean. This is what's so much fun. All the tragedy and all the things that came, post pandemic. We see silver linings. We lost a lot of people,
Yeah.
but at least we got change going. Like that's the silver lining. And so, Rochelle,
Yeah.
I don't think we talked about this too much. What what is your business like? How can they support your business? How can they tap into what you do? Is there a certain way they can help people? And tell us a little bit more about what you do so folks can get it.
Right. Okay. So I'm looking for collaborators, partners, or funders. Doesn't matter. Whichever way you want to come in, I'm welcome to have you. My focus is on oncology and bringing dignity back into oncology care. It's such a specialized place, and so many things are transitioning. It's really hard to keep up and to know what options you are. Most people make the choice to turn left or right at the street, and your life and your outcome can make a difference in the choice of which direction you go. A mile up the street is where your care is, and then you go 20 minutes out your way going left. And so it is really important for people to know that no matter what stage or entrance that you come into the healthcare system in oncology, in your oncology journey, there is an option for you. You can either go out as a cancer warrior or as a gentle giant. The most important thing is finding people to care for you in the manner and way you want to be treated. That's the whole dignity part. And so I built a cancer treatment library to give you those options when you think there are none. And it is soups to nuts, a completely cancer agnostic, EHR agnostic, location agnostic option for you to look at to find where the treatments are based on your diagnosis and where the providers are. And why was that important? If you live more than 20 minutes or 200 miles away from any healthcare provider, you literally don't even know. So the nursing platform is there to look at World Health Organization quality of life. If the treatment is worse than the actual disease, we're doing something wrong in healthcare. And so it is important to, as you look at that whole person, even in functional medicine, holistic medicine, we say these things, but they have meaning in words. And so I bring both of those together, adjunctive therapy and medical science, but both of them are based on medical science and they both have a place. But if you're struggling and you're too far down that road for holistic medicine to help you, the road isn't over. My daughter was put into hospice 5 times. So how you support me? My website is orchidhealthcaresolutions.com. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram at Orchid HCS1. And then on Facebook, I am on Orchid HCS. And basically, I try to be everywhere and nowhere all at the same time. You can also find me on the High Tech Committee, HIMSS, ASCO, Society of Neuro-Oncology. I am just here to be a patient advocate, to be a professional advocate, to intercede in oncology in any way, shape, or form. That's it. I bring the full resources.
You are fantastic, you know, because you don't have to. You're busy, you work a lot, you want to put your feet up, watch some TV, and here you are spending your almost free time, right? Your 2 hours of your time out there trying to build something to change humanity. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Unbelievable people. It's what you did, you know, is enough, but it wasn't enough for you, neither one of you ladies. So I just had to interject right there. That hats off to you. Dadgummit, man. Go ahead, Izzy. I know you got a follow-up.
I was just gonna ask, Rochelle, I think you're a cancer survivor as well, correct?
No, it's
No?
my husband is a 2-time
okay.
cancer survivor, and my daughter is a brain cancer survivor, and they were diagnosed at the same time. So I literally had to leave one behind to go treat another out of state because she was too young to stay at the local cancer treatment here. And people don't understand how impactful that is to the financial toxicity.
Yes.
You know, they hear these words. Nobody can pay for a 7-figure medical bill with excellent insurance. That has landed at my feet. If you're in that stage, you need to come find me. Where you are separated from your family for months and years. I literally lived in New York for 2 years, Manhattan, the most expensive city in all of America. And my family was back in Miami. And I have 3 children. I had to leave them behind, leave 2 behind to take care of one. If you think that I came home and it was a cakewalk, it was not. If that's a situation you're in, you need to come and talk to me. If you're about to say, I don't even know where my provider is, and I have this illness, and I don't care what it is, and you don't know what to do. They just laid that diagnosis on you and said, go figure it out on your own. You need to talk to me. I can help you. There are resources, there are people standing there waiting to you. So, waiting to help. And from whatever way, manner, choice you need. If you hate needles, I'm not going to give you one. If you can't swallow a pill, I'm not going to give you that either. If you hate radiation, we're not even going to talk about it. But what we will do is make sure that you're treated in the way and manner you deserve to make sure you have the treatment for you.
Look at
I don't
you,
know
Miss
why I had
D.
muted. Oh, sorry, Mike. I was just gonna say I don't know why I had muted myself, but it's so it's so beautiful to hear both of you ladies and just what you just said now, Rochelle, because I'm a cancer survivor, my dad's a cancer survivor, my niece is a cancer survivor, my mom wasn't so lucky, but that was in 1977. So we didn't have the
Mhm.
knowledge that we have about the disease now. And it's hard, guys. It's hard. It's hard. It's it doesn't only affect your body, it affects your finances, your mental
Mhm.
health. It affects your
Mhm.
family and your two other loved ones that are sitting at home and that they don't understand why your other kid is getting all this attention because they're kids and they can't understand that that's what, and
Mhm.
at long term it's going to have a huge impact on them, and
Absolutely.
there's no avoiding it.
No avoiding it.
There's no and there's nothing you did wrong, there's nothing your child did wrong, there's nothing their father did wrong. It's just
No.
there's no avoiding it.
Yep.
And kudos, Rochelle. You're truly my sister now. You're stuck with me. Ask Mike. um, because it is, as I said at the beginning of the show, it's I don't know anything about the American healthcare system, but even if you were here in Canada, we need people like you to say, okay, this is I've just been hit by a ton of brick, and I don't even understand how many pieces have broken me.
Correct.
And so you're there to pick up the pieces and say, okay, so this piece, this is what you do with it, and this piece,
Mhm.
this is what you do, and that is so beautiful. And I'm gonna cry now, so I'm gonna shut up.
Yes, I literally make sense of the Rubik's Cube pieces. Literally, it's something that is thrown and dashed on the floor, and you
Yeah.
gotta make a magical puzzle out of just pieces and ash. And no one should be left alone to navigate that by themselves. I don't care how old or how young you are, there's always something you don't know. Even as a medical professional, I struggled. I'm
Yes.
just trying to provide resources to people that I wished I had going
Mm.
through this journey, and it does make a difference.
Hey,
And I
real,
believe that physician, sorry, Mike, to interrupt you. I just want to
no, no,
reinforce
go.
what you just said is physicians and nurses, we don't necessarily know all the resources that are available. The
Mhm.
healthcare system is not connected. So we don't have even results of laboratory tests or the recommendation from other doctors because everything is divided. We are in a limbo, right? And having someone that administrates the health of our patients and that support physicians or nurses to be able to do their job is something that we all need, right? I would like to work with someone like you for especially for my chronic patients. I believe that someone like you brings so much value
Mhm.
to the table, and working multidisciplinary, right, as a group, as a team, we all together with the skills that each of us we have, we can really provide the best type of care for patients, and that's how the system should work, in a multidisciplinary way, in a collaborative way, not in a broken pieces, right? This should not be a puzzle uh, that patients need to play with. This should be something that is easier because when you are suffering and when you are afraid, it's when you more need the help and a clear path to follow.
Yes. You know, a lot of times people hold on to the values and beliefs of what they know, especially in times of trauma, big decisions, and where they just are operating from fear. But sometimes that gets in the way to move forward, to make decisions to help your healing. And that's where the holistic approach comes in, to say, I understand you. What are your values? Understanding where you come from. I think being in a multicultural society and coming here to an even more multicultural society in South Florida, I really understand what you're dealing with and where you're coming from. You have to know where to go if you don't know how to deal with your past. And sometimes we make decisions that aren't in our best interest. And so I say to people, as I accept them into the care that I'm about to give them, I say, you were given a toolbox with the tools that were in it. That's it. You can't look at the past. You can't change it. The future is unknown. Nobody has an expiration date. All you can do is deal with the present, what's in that toolbox, and make those decisions in front of you, good, bad, ugly, however what the outcome is. Don't beat yourself up if it doesn't work. Just keep moving forward. Find the joyful moments in all of those things. Put them together, string them together, find happiness and move forward. Because if you can't find happiness and you're coming from a place of fear, you cannot move to the next point in your journey. And I get that. And I accept people where they are, and I help them get unstuck. That's it.
Beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, you ladies are unbelievable. And by the way, let me interject. The only thing I can contribute meaningful to this conversation is, on the patient end, look, don't take these people for granted. Don't take your doctors, your nurses. I'm telling you, man. So the NICU, my best friend, his grandbaby had to go to NICU. It was a big challenge. And this guy, this is why I love this guy. He goes out and gets all these damn gift cards and everything he could, and gave them to the whole floor, just to show them. I mean, yeah, they got a job to do, but like, show the appreciation. Say thank you to them, even if they're having a bad day. The people they have to put up with. I'll say, y'all ain't gonna say. I'll say they put up with some grumpy ass people in a fast pace. They got bosses, and so give them some slack, right? Say thank you. I mean, when I get a good nurse or somebody, it was my grandma. God bless. I was all over that. I was just like, I was almost creepy with it. I'm like, oh, you're so great. Thank you for that. Because I didn't have to change the bed sheet. She did it. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I helped her out a little bit. So, just like we do our servicemen and women, just like we do firefighters and stuff. Hey, honestly, thank them, because they have a lot of challenges. I'm not going to pick on the healthcare system, but they're here to serve. So there you go. There's my 2 cents. Say thank you, appreciate them, push them up, because they put up with a lot of horse shit. I'm just going to say it. And so thank you for that. And then you got these superstars who are out there trying to make something better. They're sacrificing their time, their energy, their free time that they don't have. So I'm going to advocate for you. That's me. Okay. Show gratitude.
I appreciate what you are saying, but I believe that Rochelle will probably agree. I don't know you very well, but I hope I am reading appropriately between lines. I believe that for us it's a joy to help. For us is makes us feel, fulfilled. This is what we decided to do. This is not an obligation. This is our contribution, and for me, it's vitamin for my soul. When I make a patient to feel better, when my patient comes next appointment with a smile, when sometimes I cannot cure someone, but I have to walk with them through the last days of their life, and I see them and the family doing this with calm and feeling respected. Those things feed my heart. So I sometimes patients said to me, thank you, and I actually respond, thank you.
Yes.
Because that's what keeps me awake, right? And that's a pleasure, and that's an honor when a patient trusts their life in our hands. Really is something that we need to be grateful for, and we need to appreciate that.
Awesome. I absolutely agree.
Beautiful.
Well, we're going to go to midnight because I don't want to stop talking, but hey, we got to at some point. So here's the question. Let's go to Rochelle. Because thank you, Rochelle. You have flowed this conversation. I was nervous. I said, I don't know nothing about doctor and stuff. See, I don't even know the word, but so thank you, ladies, and y'all have done a great job. So here's the final question. We're all human. Whether we have degrees or not or whatever.
Mhm,
So if people get in, let's say they're new, right? They come
mhm,
out of medical school or
mhm.
whatever, but they don't feel happy, but they do it anyway. Like, or
Yeah.
someone who's been in the practice for a long time, like Dr. Z, who just kind of, I'm not happy. What is your best experience or thoughts? What can that person say to themselves to kind of not feel stuck for the next 20 years? Like any advice, like, just
Mhm.
because they're just miserable. Some people are just miserable and it's a daggum shame. So is there any experience that you can share if somebody out there is listening who does feel just kind of stuck and eh?
Yeah, honestly, there was this saying in in the healthcare system: um, hearts are for show, and cardiology is for dough, right? So, we give the heart, and you find the passion in what you're doing, right? But it has to make money. Like at the end of the day, you have
Right.
bills to pay, and so when you feel in that place that you got to look at what is the reason for what you're doing and look at it very distinctly. Are you here because it's a passion project and that happens to pay you, which is great? Or are you here because it was the first thing that you looked at in the book? And maybe that's not for you. And so if it's not for you and you're miserable, start talking to people to find out what else is out there. Ask the question, how do you do your job? Can I talk to you for 15 minutes? Mike, you busted me out my shell whether I wanted to or not, and started saying, you cannot just sit there and think everybody is just going to come see you're miserable and fix it for you. You got to use, that's why you have 2 ears and one mouth. Got to use it.
Hmm.
And so start asking to find other areas of interest. And once you do, and you find something to make that happy, make that transition, put a goal, set a plan to how you're going to achieve it. Because if you write it down and you have directions on how to get there, you will do it.
Wow. Dr. Z, any follow up to that?
Yes, I want to assume that majority of us in the healthcare system, we thought very, we were very serious at the moment to select our profession, and that majority of us, we really love it. So starting from that point that we are here in the right place, we need to think about taking care of ourselves. Many of us, we lose the excitement about medicine. We start feeling fatigued, exhausted, depressed, anxious. We hate what we are doing, not because we hate medicine, but because we hate what is around it, right? The system. And as soon as we start having this chronic stress and this feeling of lack of satisfaction, we really get to to the point that we are sick and that we burn out. And then that is just a step down situation. So if you are in a situation where you feel stress, where you feel that with lack of motivation, where you feel maybe signs of depression, when you feel lonely, take care of yourself. We don't expect doctors, nurses, or any other healthcare professional to be superheroes. That was a lie. If you heard that in medical school or in nursing school, they were lying to you. You don't come with superpowers. The white coat will not give you extra strength. You are still supposed to eat and sleep and go to your checkups and some days sleep. So take care of yourself, because if you are healthy, you will be also happy. As if you can still find the energy inside of you to do what you feel that is your call, what is your purpose, you will still be able to find this vitamin for your soul and enjoy what you are doing. Don't work for others. Don't do this for others. Don't live your life to satisfy others. Live your life to feel proud of yourself. Get close to your heart, get close to your core values, and be able to go to sleep feeling that every moment, including the one that were difficult and challenging, they were worth it because you touched the life of someone and you did something amazing today.
Mhm.
Wow.
Amen.
You
Amen.
ladies are amazing. We got to have a round two. This was too much. We got a lot more to go, and people want to reach out and they want to help you. They want to support you. They want to help all these things. So, Dr. Z, best place to find you. I know you're on LinkedIn. We got your
I am,
website. Where else?
yes, LinkedIn, my website, and super happy to connect with anyone and to, to collaborate with anyone. I am here to serve.
All right. Hey, go check out Dr. Z at virtualwellbeingmd.com. Um, wow, man, anything I can do to support you. And then Rochelle, I think we asked you, but we'll ask you again because it's worth repeating. All right. How do they find you?
At orchidhealthcaresolutions.com. I'm also on LinkedIn. My company page is on Instagram, orchidhcs.one. I'm on Facebook at orchidhcs. You'll find me anywhere. Just Google, it'll come up. I've been here long enough that I actually am a Google search, which is insane. It's insane, but it is very true. But honestly, I'm just here to collaborate, partnership, or fun. It is very simple. I come with love and acceptance of where you are, where you're at. So if you want to partner with me, it's partnerships at orchidhealthcaresolutions.com.
Oh my gosh, you two are absolutely amazing. Hey, before we close out, don't leave now. Don't go get excited, everybody in the audience. All right. Here. We got Mr. Lion. Mr. Lion, it's good to see you. Uh he missed the first part because he missed the bus, I think. So how are you today, Lion? Where you at? Oh, who's pushing all these buttons? Quit pushing these buttons. There you go. There's Mr. Lion. Did he freeze or is he just holding real still? Because I like to do that. And by the way, while Lion is doing his mannequin impression, nobody's gonna ask me how I drank 35 ounces out of this. Nobody. Y'all didn't notice I've been drinking this for what, 2 hours?
I love the cup, Mike. I think it's really cute. I was going to
Can you
ask
hear
you
me?
where you got it.
All right, I'm
Yes.
back. Can you
Oh,
hear me?
Lion's. Yes, sir.
Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Where were we left off at?
Well, I was trying to talk about your coffee because at the beginning of the show, I put the coffee out there. I thought it was gonna be real weak. You know how like the little cynic, so I dumped like half the bag in there, and by 11 o'clock, I was getting on my own nerves, man. I thought it was bad. So great coffee, because a lot of it smelled like scented potpourri and it tastes bad. This is really good. So hey, that's why I brought it up because I actually like this, and so thank you for that.
Good.
And where do folks find it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So one great things about what our coffee is, it's first of all ethically sourced, right? So it comes from a lot of the countries. We have Peru coffees where I heard Dr. Z talking. We have coffee from Peru, coffee from Colombia,
Delicious.
Ethiopia. Yes, and it's absolutely roasted fresh. But people can find it at theboutique.store. It's after my wife. That's her passion. So we started it for her, the boutique.store. Order a bag, ladies and gentlemen, and leave us a review because your words go far, letting other people know that the coffee is actually good and fresh.
Awesome.
Wow. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. And I haven't got to the wait a minute. Pecan or pecan? Which one is it?
To pecan.
Yeah, I might pecan. Oh man, we have to revisit our friendship. I don't know. We'll have to do a show next time on that. All right. So everybody scan the QR code.
I love it.
Yeah, man. So I ain't got no sense. Hey, if I can do it, you can. That's why the Hounds works. Because if I can do stuff, y'all know you can do stuff. Like there's no doubt about it. All right. So hey, thank you all. Thank you in the audience, man. Y'all stuck in there. We had held a good crowd this whole time, ladies. We support you. We appreciate you, and uplifting everyone. Go thank your new medical professionals when you see them. They're human too. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Isabel, for co-hosting. Lion for running the backstage and giving me good coffee, and Dr. New and Mick, right? The wellness, man. I'm so glad these women are on me. They drive me nuts, and I'm glad because I don't want to have to be in the hospital. I'm a human. So All right, all the healthcare wellness people out there, scan that QR code at the top left and learn more about the pack. I cannot wait to meet you. Everyone, have a great week. Next week, we got the great one and only, was it Russ Hedge? Oh, you don't want to miss that, man. Community networking, it's going to be an explosion. So get yourself over here next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, New York City time. Network with some of the best, brightest, heart-centered people on earth. Everyone have a good day. Isabel, Lion, somebody hit that button because, I'll mess it up. Let's roll the outro.
All right.
Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.